Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking, and welcome to the In-Flight News Report. And today, I continue my Star Wars tirade with reckless abandon. But first, let's check the headlines. Photographer reveals the one thing that makes Queen Elizabeth different from other celebrities. It's the scaly reptilian skin and the long lizard tongue. So today will be my review of Rogue One. Perhaps a bit late for review, but considering I've pretty much reviewed every other Star Wars film, it wouldn't seem right without it. So first, I'll begin with the pros. The film builds dramatic tension very well, I thought. I got the sense that things were happening without it really saying what was happening, and it did it very well. Number two, it established interesting characters very well and does it early on. In particular, the blind man and his friend, Chirrut and Malbus. Particularly Chirrut, was just like a very well-conceived character, I thought. The droid, K2SO, was the humor center, as all droids are intended to be, I guess, but he was, I think, the most. In fact, one of the best in the movies, and the best actually outside of Knights of the Old Republic. Director Krennic was a great bad guy. I think probably my favorite in any of the Star Wars films. He had a humor, like kind of a dark humor to him that you don't usually see, or not as often see. He was menacing enough. Like, he's not the most menacing bad guy, but compared to recent films, all the other recent films, he was a good bad guy. The film shows a side to the whole franchise and the Empire in particular that you don't really get to see. I think with Krennic at the beginning and multiple times later on, it shows a lot that you don't really see, and I thought that was cool. The Darth Vader scene at the end adds so much to the mythos of that character. Just that one scene does so much for the menace of a villain. It's a really great scene. While it might not seem like it, there's actually more about this film that I like than I dislike, but I'm gonna cover the things that I didn't like. Saul Guerrera's death was empty and meaningless. It really only served to remove him from the story, which they could have done a whole lot better. I guess I get why they wouldn't want to have him in the story, but it was just a pointless death. It was really dumb that they couldn't recall the rebel X-Wing squadron from Edu. It was obviously just a, plot device, but it really was kind of dumb. Jen's accusation of Cassian after the attack on Edu really took me out of the story. It really, I didn't feel like it fit. It could have been done better. I mean, I get it. I get what she was feeling, but it didn't fit. The rebels squabble way too much in this movie. And especially given their unity in A New Hope. And it wasn't believable that they would consider surrendering to the Empire. I didn't find that to be an option for them. Because like in A New Hope, there's no argument at all. So it kind of goes into showing a side of the franchise that you haven't seen before, but it just doesn't fit for what we see later on. It openly says that Darth Vader and Grand Moff Tarkin knew the Death Star had a weakness, which doesn't fit at all. They don't acknowledge that at all in A New Hope. They don't seem to. I mean, there's obviously a reason why they're after the plans. But I don't know. It didn't quite fit, in my opinion. But and this is just this is really weird. But I just find it weird when people who don't use the Force talk about the Force. They do this in, they even did this in the originals, I think they do it more now. They did it a lot in this movie. They talk about the Force. They talk about may the Force be with you. They say may the Force be with you, and they talk about the Force a lot, and none of them are Force users. So I find it quite bizarre. But that's really all I had. The problems I had. Some of them are lesser problems than. Some of them are just like pet peeves, I think. But the big ones are Saw Gerrera's death, the rebels, and that last bit. The thing about Darth Vader and Tarkin, which I guess they kind of did, actually. Because if they were after the plans, I mean, they had to have a reason to be after the plans. But I don't know, it struck me as not really making sense. So that's my review of Rogue One. And that's enough for me. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave a comment down below, share it with your fellow passengers, and subscribe if you want to see more. And as always, make sure your seat back and tray tables are in their upright and fixed position, and I will see you on the beach.